Hello, good day to you. It's Teresa. I have a lament of sorts today. My mother has dementia. Quite likely she's had it for a long time. A really long time. Perhaps decades. And what there's to say about that is that her only neurological patterns now are no and fuck no. And everything she does comes from that place of absolute stubbornness that she's actually had her whole life. But as I'm learning about trauma and dysregulation, I'm learning that stubbornness is really simply a way of being which one engages in when one is not feeling safe and therefore is trying to exert some control over their environment and relationships and circumstances to try to feel safe. However, that stubbornness over time can cause the frontal lobe to shrink because we're constantly in a state of threat and fight or flight. And when that happens, as it happens, we are no longer capable of functioning in a psychologically well way. And those particular people become extremely difficult to interact with because they are highly unreasonable, relatively abusive, and extremely stressful for everyone around them. Apart from perhaps paid caregivers who can go home after a certain amount of time. But for those who live with said persons, it's very stressful because we don't get to leave except for moments or, hours, but we have to go back. So, given all of that, and because I have a great calling on my life and I have to produce content and have to be functional to do that, as in sleep, and not live in a combat zone all the time, what I've come to the conclusion is I've got to move out of my mum's house. And so I am. And before anyone panics, my sisters and I have found her a wonderful place to move to, where she'll get the care she needs and the attention, most importantly. Not be socially isolating because people will force her to interact. She won't be able to avoid it. You see, she won't abuse strangers or people whose, esteem she values. Just me. And so I won't be there to beat up. Of course I'll be there to visit, but not 24/7. And so I'll be able to finally create the content that has been twirling around in my soul for years now. I'm ready to go, ready to hit the ground running, and my mother, bless her soul, will be finally happier in a place which is very much suited to meet her needs. And I will actually thrive and not die and actually be able to carry out what it is the Lord has put in my life to do. So, in other words, more content coming. Thank you for your time and attention, and God bless.